Now, I didn't see this film in the cinema. I caught up with it on video back in the 80s when Phoebe Cates was really exploding, and it is deemed a knockoff of the Blue Lagoon. And if you're a Phoebe Cates fan, what can I say? This is a must-see. G'day viewers, Retro Man here, and welcome to a very special episode of Lost Movies from the 1980s. Now, this movie was shot back in 1981. It's deemed a Canadian film, but it was shot in Israel. It was written and directed by Stuart Gillard. Now, this film has a plot line that's very similar to The Blue Lagoon, which was a big hit for Brooke Shields and Christopher Atkins. And the filmmakers, I believe, tried to replicate that formula here. I mean, The Blue Lagoon was a smash, so why wouldn't it work again? Now, Phoebe Cates at the time was really making a name for herself as an international model. And Willie Ames had been around for a little while. He was a child star in the 1970s. He'd even appeared in the TV series Swiss Family Robinson. So in a way, he was perfectly suited for this film. So we've got Phoebe and Willie, and the film takes place in Baghdad in the 1800s. And it's a story of these two teenagers coming together on the road to Damascus after some really horrible things happen to their families. So this film has a few violent moments as well. Willie Ames's family is massacred, and the two come together. It's a coming-of-age tale. It's a survival tale, and there's a guy called the Jackal that is basically after Phoebe Cates. This guy in the early part of the film seems to catch a glimpse of Phoebe Cates' beauty and then is hell-bent on capturing her and keeping her for himself. So there's a bit of that going on as well, and Willie Ames at the end of the film has to come head-to-head with the Jackal. So this film has a few things that are different to The Blue Lagoon. It has a bit of an action-adventure tale hidden within. And I know at the time the critics got the knives out and they weren't very happy with the portrayal of the Jackal that is after them. They kind of looked at that portrayal as pretty poor. But overall, this film is well cast. They're a good-looking couple. They find each other and eventually fall in love. And if you're a fan of The Blue Lagoon, you will probably enjoy the lyrical nature of this love story. But the movie itself, well, you know, some people I think would love the film. Other people will go, oh, it's a bit boring. But really, this is a tale of young love. It has some really amazing scenery. It's only telling a simplistic story, and it doesn't feature Academy Award-winning acting. But what it does have is it features two likeable leads. And I suppose you could look at Paradise as a bit of a cult movie. I think it has a bit of a following out there with Phoebe Cates fans. It's her first film. She sings the theme song. You can hear it on the end credits. And also the movie has her in a number of provocative scenes. So if you're a fan of Cates, it's a must-see. And this is one of those films where it's actually aimed at a teenage audience, but they put maybe just a little bit too much nudity in there, and they tend to bump the rating up to an R rating, and then teens can't go and watch it. So that's a bit of a problem. And I think for the most part, this film is pretty tame, apart from those extended nude scenes with Phoebe Cates and one or two love scenes with Willie and Phoebe. And Phoebe Cates was very game to perform, I think, in some of these scenes. But I'll also say on that note that Phoebe Cates was not very happy with the finished film. In fact, she didn't even want to promote the film with Willie Ames when it first came out, and that is possibly one of the reasons why it didn't go that well at the box office. So this movie underperformed at the box office. It didn't do as well as Blue Lagoon, and I think maybe if they had have held off just a few months on that release and came in after Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and they had have done the marketing of this film just on Phoebe Cates based on her popularity from Fast Times, I think this film could have done 20 or 30 million at the box office, even though it's not fantastic. So outside of that, this film has one of those old-fashioned feels to it where a young couple is just trying to survive in an untamed land. Anyway, Paradise, a nice, sweet little film from the early 80s featuring two very attractive leads, and there's a couple of chimps in this movie as well. It really is a throwback to those Tarzan films. But I don't think there's any vine swinging from memory, but there's waterfalls, you name it. This young couple are getting up to all sorts of mischief, and there's a few laughs along the way. And what can I say? Paradise is a fun little teen tale from the 80s. It's very different from any other teen movie from that era. And like I said, stick around to the end credits and you'll get to hear Phoebe Cates sing the theme song. So if you're looking for an old-fashioned movie about young love, Paradise is just the ticket. So anyway, guys, there you have it. Paradise from Fun City Editions. Tell me in the comments below if you remember this lost film, and tell me in the comments below if you're a fan of Phoebe Cates or Willie Ames. And if you haven't already, hit that notification bell so you're alerted for my next episode. Until next time, this is Retro Man, living the dream, retro style. Stay gold.
Thanks for watching. Retro Man will return faster than a boomerang. But in the meantime, please check out these other episodes.